Hello, and welcome to
Papi Approved Movies.
My name is Papi.
And I'm Natalie.
In our podcast, we will review and critique my favorite PG-13 movies.
Movies that I wasn't allowed to watch until I turned 13.
Every Sunday, Natalie and I will watch a new PG-13 movie.
And I'll see if Papi's movies live up to the hype.
Which, of course, they will.
Today we're going to be watching Pitch Perfect. Yay! Finally!
Before we begin, there will be spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie and don't want it to be spoiled,
press pause and come back when you're finished. Now, Papi, tell me the deets on this movie.
Pitch Perfect came out in 2012. It was directed by Jason Moore. It's based on a book by Mickey Rapkin, and the screenplay adaptation was written by Kay Cannon. Major stars are Anna Kendrick, Brittany Murphy, and Rebel Wilson. Rebel Wilson's probably the most famous one now. She's in a bunch of different movies now. Fun facts, there have been 2 sequels, Pitch Perfect 2 and Pitch Perfect 3, and there's also going to be a spin-off with Bumper, one of the characters from The Troublemakers. So what do you think, Nat?
Well, I give the movie overall a 4.5-star grading.
Wow, you really liked it, huh?
Yeah, it was much better than the last one.
Okay, I see. Is it possibly because you wanted to watch this movie more than you wanted to watch the last one?
No.
All right. Well, I'm happy you seem to really have enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed it too. We had a good time laughing and chuckling. And Mom really loves this movie too. She cracked up a lot, huh?
Yeah. Why don't we get into the recap?
Okay, let's do it. All right. The movie starts off in the past. I guess this is a historical event. Not just kidding. It just probably happened a year ago. With the Barden Bellas as an a cappella group competing in the International Championship of Collegiate A Cappella. Aubrey is center stage. She's about to do her solo and then throws up all over the place. Natalie, you probably love this part the most.
Oh, it was like a vomit jump scare. It was like so unexpected. Also, her vomit is like really liquidy. I've never seen throw up that like liquid.
Usually I'm pretty good about reminding you to close your eyes when we see any throwing up or anything disgusting like that, but I didn't do a good job. Sorry, Nat.
When I was researching about like the cast, like the characters, I learned that they actually used the same mic that she like threw up. That scene where she threw up, they still used it in all the other performances. They didn't just throw away the prop.
That's hilarious. I wonder where that mic is now. All right, 4 months later, we meet Becca. She's moving into the dorms. Her roommate, Kimmy Jin, gives her the silent treatment, and she meets Jesse, another possible freshman. Later, Becca is mixing music on her laptop, and her father comes in. It seems like he's a professor at that college. It's very tense between them, and he advises her to put herself out there and enjoy college. She agrees and goes to the activities fair.
She's so emo for no reason. She's all like, I hate you, Dad.
Yeah. I think they just went through a divorce, maybe, her mom and dad.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of seems that because she had a little snide comment about her mother-in-law, called her what? Stepmother? Stepmonster, she called her.
Stepmonster.
Yeah.
It was so dumb, too, because she was all like, how's the stepmonster? And then he starts explaining, and she's like, I don't actually care. I just wanted to call her stepmonster. Yeah. Like, what was even the point?
Just to call her stepmonster. At the activities fair, Becca meets the Bellas, who are only down to 2 members now, Aubrey and Chloe. Becca makes fun of them, and Aubrey calls her a bee. Jesse, with his roommate Benji, meet the Troublemakers, one of the other 3 a cappella groups on campus, the others being the High Notes and the BU Harmonics. Their leader, Bumper, is a complete jerk, especially to Benji. And at the fair, we also meet Fat Amy. Oh, well. Fat Amy is one of the characters we meet in the story. At this point, we'll probably call her Amy from now on. What do you think? Instead of calling her Fat Amy?
No, that's a part of the story.
Okay, we'll continue to call her Fat Amy then. What did you think of Fat Amy?
I thought she was funny.
She was funny. Okay, Becca signs up to be an intern at the campus radio station and sees Jessie there, who starts flirting with her, and she's not really into it. After that, her dad comes back into her room and promises that if she puts herself out there and tries, and is still unhappy, that he will pay for her to move to LA and begin a career in music, which is the whole reason I think she's really cranky with him. Maybe it's not about the divorce. Maybe it's about he's making her to go to college. So
Yeah, I don't know if she's obviously unmotivated, so she's probably gonna get bad grades, and it's probably just gonna be an overall waste of money. So why would you force your child into college? It's never gonna work out.
I don't know, Natalie. Why would a mom or a dad force their child to go to college?
Because they're crazy.
Oh, is that what it is?
I'm not gonna get forced into college. I'm gonna go there with your money.
Oh, yes, I guess so. In the next scene, Becca's in the shower singing. Chloe comes in naked, so they're both naked in there, and asks her to sing with her.
Like a disturbed person.
Like a disturbed person. Chloe loves her voice and asks her to try out for the Bellas. Becca agrees, mostly so Chloe could leave. What do you think about this scene? Funny, disturbing, scary?
I just said Chloe's disturbed. Also, she's so crazy. Why is she going into someone else's shower? You could have talked to her after she was done.
Mm-hmm. It was a little bit, I don't know. It was a little bit shady, I think. I don't know. You could tell that Becca was very uncomfortable. She was hiding herself, and Chloe just didn't care.
That's gonna be later in it, too.
We'll talk about that later. Okay. Next, we have a montage of people trying out for all 4 a cappella groups. We see a few members that will eventually join the Bellas. Lily, a girl that has like almost no voice. Stacy, a sexy gyrating singer. And Cynthia Rose and Fat Amy. We also see Jesse and Benji try out. Jesse makes the squad, the Troublemakers, but Benji does not.
He has a good voice, though. They just think he's too weird.
Yeah, because he likes magic and things like that.
But, like, he's not gonna be... If you tell him to do a performance on stage, he can't be, like, a weirdo according to the, like, performance. So, like, it's not like you have to become best friends.
But I don't know. People don't like magicians. They think they're kind of, I don't know, crazy, maybe. I don't know. And later on, no spoilers. Well, actually, the whole movie is spoiled when we talk about it. Where he's actually going to add a little magic to his performance at the end. Anyways, before we get there. At initiation, the Bells were sworn to never sleep with any of the Troublemakers. Then the 4 a cappella groups go to a party.
It was like a cult when they were like doing all the like vows, and it was all dark and there was candles. I was like, oh my gosh, what is wrong with these people?
You were scared?
We already know that Chloe's somewhat disturbed, and I was a little confused.
Yeah. At the party, Jessie flirts with Becca, and no, she's not so annoyed by it. She kind of is amused, kind of finds him cute. But Aubrey is not happy. Bumper insults Fat Amy and then tells her that they should make out. Did you like that scene?
No, it was kind of stupid.
It was stupid because, it's inappropriate. Bumper had the microphone and he was hitting her in the boobs with it, and I thought that was kind of mean and inappropriate. What do you think?
Yeah, it was bad.
It was pretty bad. Next scene, the Bellas begin rehearsals, and one of them is kicked out for hooking up with a troublemaker. Fat Amy even calls her a slut as she leaves. They find out that made you laugh. They find out what happened with Aubrey last year. Then they begin a training montage. And after that, they do practice runs at a frat house. And the main frat boy calls them a barnyard explosion. I guess the Bellas were known to be like the most beautiful group before. And now that we have a diverse group of characters who aren't considered traditionally beautiful, people are really upset about it. I thought that was kind of messed up. What do you think?
Yeah. I never thought of it as the look side of things. I always just thought it was because they were not very coordinated. And how before they're all like, everyone's in sync, everyone's in line. Now everyone's just like, I don't know what I'm doing. No. And I thought that's what it was about.
Unfortunately, I don't think so. Because if you look at the first scene where you see the old Bellas, they're all like supermodels like Aubrey and Chloe. And then he said, these are not the Bellas that I paid for. Kind of like saying, these aren't the beautiful girls that I paid for. So he was kind of a jerk, definitely. Jesse and Becca get closer because Jesse keeps flirting with her at the radio station and on campus. He wants to score movies when he grows up, and she says she doesn't like movies. He is hurt and will make her watch all of his favorites, especially The Breakfast Club. Kind of like what I'm doing with you, Nat.
Oh, no.
Well, we're not going to watch The Breakfast Club because that's rated R. But I am making you watch all my favorite movies.
I made you watch this one, though.
That's okay. I really like that. The funny scene in there is when he says, you didn't know the end of Star Wars, and spoilers, although Star Wars is 45 years old. she said she knew it was dad because Vader means father in German. And he was like, oh, wow, I didn't know that.
If that movie was streamed in German, all the people are just like face palming.
Yeah. I wonder if they changed it to a different name in the German translation of the movie.
Maybe they like in the German translation they turned the father part to like father in English.
Yeah, so his name is Darth Father in Germany. Maybe. Actually, we'll have to rent the German version of Star Wars to find out. My favorite scene in the movie is the next one. It was the riff off. It's a fun scene where all 4 a cappella groups compete singing songs. The troublemakers win on a technicality. Aubrey's resentment.
Yeah, they were unjustly like cut off. I still don't understand the reason why.
So I guess you have to. So the way the riff off works is that you have to start a new song on a word someone else is singing, and the word that she used was "it's," but the word that the person was singing before was "it." So that was the technically. So even though "it's" is a derivative of "it." They said, no, it's a different word. And so the Bellas were disqualified and the troublemakers won. But I like it. I like how they did all the different songs and they were all singing. Aubrey's resentment for Becca increases, especially when Becca says that they should try new things. And Aubrey is stuck in the old ways of doing everything the way the Bellas did it in the past. Regionals, everyone sings and the Bellas come in second. The troublemakers come in first, which gets them to the regionals. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Gets them to the semifinals. That's right. So the regionals and then the semifinals. But it all goes downhill when after the show there is a brawl and Becca is arrested when she punches some dude, right?
Also, during the show, they all look like the airplane. What are they called? The air people?
Flight attendants?
Flight attendants. Why do they all look like flight attendants? I didn't think the song went with the theme or anything.
And then they were dressed like that in their first scene as well, which was in the past. So they haven't even changed their uniform. And they're singing the same songs. So they're singing the same songs, doing the same dance moves, and wearing the same clothes as before. There's a scene, I think, where Becca says, why don't we try a new song? The troublemakers never sing a song twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why the troublemakers won in the regionals, and that's why they went to the semifinals with the Bellas. But she gets arrested. Jesse calls her dad to bail her out, and then Becca gets super angry at Jesse. Her dad rescinds his offer to pay for her trip to L.A. So he's really upset. Obviously, she went to jail.
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable. Also, she was like so mad at Jesse, but it's like who else is gonna be there for when you go to jail? Don't you think your own father is probably gonna find out some way or another?
Especially since he works there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would get back to him eventually.
So it's like it didn't really matter anyways.
Yeah. All right, so we're on our way to the semifinals. The troublemakers attack Fat Amy with a flying burrito when she's getting gas for their tour bus. And eventually the Bellas have to share a ride with the troublemakers because they forgot to fill up the gas tank after that attack. At semifinals, Bella sings the same old song, the same way, same dance, same clothes. And Becca sees the crowd is bored and changes things up. She adds her own little flurry of music to it, changes it up a little bit. The fans seem excited. Everybody looks like they like it, but everybody's upset with her. Aubrey is furious with her, and everyone kind of agrees that she should have kind of given them a heads up.
Yeah, it's also like I don't think the crowd would be able. They would just be confused because she's only one person with the mic. Everyone else is singing one song. How are they able to like hear her specifically? It's not like they can hear the clarity of the song itself. They can maybe hear she's trying to sing something different, but they don't know what she's singing or how it goes or whatever. It would probably just be muffled under the other people.
I'd have to watch the scene again, but I don't know if anybody else kind of helped out.
I don't think they did.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Cause Fat Amy was saying like, oh, we were like, it all took us by surprise.
Yeah, she's like, it was cool, but it took us by surprise, yeah. So Becca quits. She gets into a fight with Jesse, and the Bellas get third place, and they don't make it to the ICCAs, so the movie's over. The end, right? No, there's more. Becca tries to make up with Jesse, but he is really upset with her.
I'm happy about this.
Okay.
I think that Jesse was good, that if someone blows up to you and then they're like, oh, never mind, I forgive you, you shouldn't just be like, okay, I welcome you back with open arms. This is something that Danny Ocean, I wish would have done from our last episode. If you haven't watched that, go check it out. But I think that he should have been more like Jesse, where Jesse is like, why you yelled at me and now you like me? Like, what's up with that? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Why am I just gonna be like, okay?
That is true, because she did yell at him at the police station.
Yeah.
And then she yelled at him at the semifinal, so she was...
Yeah, she's like, leave me alone, you're not my boyfriend, and then...
Oh, that's right. She said, you're not my boyfriend. He's like, okay, I'm out, bro. I don't know.
And then she's like, never mind, I love you, yay! And then he's like, no.
That's true. During that time where they're apart and she's not part of the Bellas and her dad's mad at her, she watches The Breakfast Club by herself and she cries at the end.
Wow, she has emotions.
She has feelings. She has a heart. Oh my gosh. And everyone is informed that the Bellas are back into the ICCAs due to a disqualification. The Bellas meet for practice and it comes out. All of it. Literally, all comes out. Aubrey does her little throwing up again.
No, not again!
But this time I did warn Nat, so I don't think she saw it. And
Ew.
Then, yeah. The team brawls, and then they come together. Aubrey gives up the reins, gives them to Becca, and then she will become the leader of the group. Meanwhile, in another scene, Bumper leaves the Troublemakers, and now Benji joins to kind of fill the spot.
Oh, now you want Benji.
I know. Well, Bumper was the one that hated Benji, right?
Oh, yeah, so I bet everyone else was like, we don't care.
Yeah, although they weren't very nice to Benji either. I think they were laughing with Bumper when he...
Yeah.
Yeah. But he left, and Bumper didn't care about the team anymore. He just like, I'm out. He doesn't care about it, so he just took off. What did you think? I luckily warned you about that throw-up scene. What did you think about all that part right there?
It was kind of stupid. Especially since, like, I get that Chloe and Aubrey and all of them were fighting. But why were they, like, fighting with each other? And then they're all, like, I think it was Cynthia Rose who was like, I'll protect you. And then it's like, what do you need protecting from? Your own team? Like, what's going on here? Why? It was just kind of dumb that they were all, like, battling each other when like only two people were in a fight, or like one person against the other. Why were the rest of the team, which were cool with each other, fighting each other?
I think it just everybody was tense and stressed, and I think it all just came out. And then they all got close afterwards. All right, at the ICCAs, the Troublemakers do a great job, especially with Benji, who sings a song about
magic.
Magic, yeah. Then the Bellas tear the house down. They come on and everyone on the team steps up and is amazing.
I didn't know if you noticed this. It was like kind of an Easter egg. I don't know if it's really that important. But you know the scarves they were wearing in their flight attendant outfit? I noticed each one kind of had it incorporated some way in their outfit. So some had it on their wrist as a bracelet. I think the girl who had no voice had it as a belt in their outfit. So I noticed that a little bit, how they all kind of like kept some of their old Bella ways.
Yeah, I actually didn't notice it. That was actually pretty clever. I hadn't noticed that when I watched it. And much to Jesse's excitement, one of the songs the Bellas sing is Don't You Forget About Me, the last song from the Breakfast Club. Becca and Jesse kiss at the end. And that song happens to be my senior ball song, just so you know.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't think that senior balls would use the music from movies.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it is from the movie, and then I'm not that old that song was popular. It hadn't just come out. It was more like a flashback, like 10 years. Yes.
Sure, baby.
So it wasn't. I'm from the I graduated in the 90s. That song's from the 80s, but yeah, it was my senior ball song. What did you think about Becca and Jesse kissing? He was talking, and she's like, "Just be quiet." And then she kissed him.
Yeah, it was fine. Because she kind of tried to prove herself again. She didn't, like, keep pestering him. She eventually was like, okay, I need to prove that I actually care about him and I'm not just shallow and evil. So she did the whole performance and did the little fist thingy, and he kind of realized, oh, I guess she's sorry. It wasn't just like, all right, let's kiss now. Yeah, there was some sort of thing in between.
There was a redemption.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she had to do something. And just to throw it out there, I think that's Mom's worst part of the movie, because she loves Jesse. She thinks he's so cute. And so when they kiss, she probably was jealous. Just kidding. 6 months later, we see another audition, kind of like we saw earlier on in the movie. And we see the Bellas, and they are sitting next to a huge trophy. So that means they did win the ICCAs. And the movie goes to credits.
They also said we get to pick the song. Did they ever say what song it was? Because I would be curious.
You know what? I don't remember. No, I don't think it came out in this movie. I do wonder if it came out...
Pitch Perfect 2?
Yeah, if it came out in Pitch Perfect 2. I know that the first song they were singing was by the girl... You Like Her a Lot. She's from The Voice.
Kelly Clarkson.
Kelly Clarkson song. That's what they were singing in the first montage of the auditions.
Also, in the first montage, I was a little bit upset with what's her name, Becca, because she didn't prepare the song, which is reasonable. She just kind of showed up, but she didn't even prepare for the song she did do, which was like the cup song. She didn't even bring her cup or anything. She stole like a pen thing from the
people who were in charge.
Yeah, like if you weren't prepared for one song, which was reasonable, but you didn't even prepare for the song you prepared for.
That's true. She's a rebel. What are you going to do? I wonder if she didn't even know about it until she got there. And then she ended up doing the cup song.
Also, I wonder if the cup song become popular because of that movie, or was it just popular and they're like, okay, let's throw it in.
I don't remember it before the movie. So maybe it was, but maybe it was popular before, but I know it became popular. Did you remember you used to know the cup song?
I know this lyrics. I remember knowing the lyrics. I think I know only a little bit of the cup thing.
So, funny thing about the cup song is your preschool teacher, when you were 3 years old, can't remember her name now, she taught you the cup song. And do you remember that one time your cousin Fudge, she's the one who did the cup part and did the little clapping part, and you sang the song with her at one of our Christmas get-togethers. Do you remember that?
I think so.
And we have it on film. We should actually get it out so we can hear you singing the song. Anyway, so what do you think? Could this movie be... What I love this movie, and I do want to talk to you. I have a couple of questions I want to talk about. But before we move on to those, I want to ask you if you think this movie could be made today.
Well, I think overall it could definitely be made today, but there are a few things, just a few scenes, but I actually think they could still be in there. It was mainly that announcer guy while he was talking, like him, I think his name is John and Gail. John and Gail.
The commentators.
Yeah, he was always like a little bit not good.
Yeah, he was awful. He was rude to the women.
But I know that he's written that way. I know that because at the very, like, one of the ends, he was like, I never thought that the women could do this. And then Gail's like, that's the girl commenter. Gail's like, yeah, well, you're a misogynist at heart. And he's like, yes, I am. So, like, he was definitely supposed to be written that way. It wasn't just a thing of the time.
Actually, yeah, well, that's one of my questions about the commentator. So here's the one thing. So I feel that obviously the things he said were extremely inappropriate, right?
Yeah.
But is that okay to create a character who you know is going to be a jerk, inappropriate type of guy to make people dislike him or to make people laugh, but not to be like the hero? So it's like nobody thinks that Bumper is the hero in this movie or the commentators are the hero in this movie. And then the way they act makes me want to dislike them or hate them.
Yeah.
But is there a line, do you think? Can you draw a line on how...
Yeah, definitely. But I feel like his lines were so over-exaggerated that it was like, you could tell if it was like to the point where it was like something someone would actually say in real life. Like probably people say this in real life, but not very as often. I feel like that would be more as like a joking way.
Yeah.
It's more exaggerated, so you can definitely tell it's like humorous. Whereas if he was just like, ew, I hate women. Yeah. Like that could be like perceived as like, oh, is this like a joke or whatnot? He said some things. He said like how it was like acapella, all groups of acapella women don't really do well, and he's like, they're not very good at acapella. They're just as good at being doctors as doing acapella.
So we're kind of saying like they're just terrible at everything, even being like, doctors.
They can't be doctors or like, you know, the like smart peoples. Yeah. And then, yeah, I think that's about. There was some, like, very inappropriate comments, but I don't remember them from him specifically. Yeah. He was just very inappropriate and sexist, and as they said, a misogynist at heart.
That's true.
But it was definitely, they were so misogynistic that you could tell it was humorous.
Like it was just over the top.
Yeah.
But the girl didn't help it either, right? She was kind of part of it and kind of mean and horrible too.
Yeah, she was really rude.
Gail, you said her name is Gail.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think she's actually, I think that actress is one of the producers on the movie, if I'm not 100% sure, but I think so.
So it's kind of like a cameo?
No, I think that just she's just an actress that's in it, but she does the producing as well.
There also was the Chloe scene. That would definitely be now known as sexual harassment. Because
I avoided using that word because I thought maybe you were going to bring it up afterwards. And I was right. Go ahead.
Sexual harassment. Chloe was, obviously, she was uncomfortable. And she was all like, leave me alone. Like, I don't want to be here. There was no consent. She was all just like, I'm here. You have to sing for me to leave. Like, that's just so awful. Like, that's awful. And it was definitely like she was forcing her to do something she was not comfortable with at all. And that would never happen. Yeah,
I don't think it would play for laughs anymore. You know what I'm saying? And I think people would find that inappropriate. Because if Chloe were a man, that would obviously that wouldn't be humorous at all. That'd be scary and horrible, and yes, definitely sexual harassment. So I agree with you. Once watching that movie, liking it very much because it's kind of a funny scene. I can see how inappropriate it is. And then a guy comes out of the other shower and kind of joins the three of them real quick at the end of that conversation.
Which obviously maybe Chloe is fine with like people seeing her, but Becca was definitely not. Why was she joined into that when she was obviously still uncomfortable? She was already forced to do something she didn't want to do, which was sing naked in front of another person.
And then that dude walks in, even makes it worse for sure.
Yeah, so Chloe was definitely in the wrong there.
Mm-hmm. Anything else?
Not really.
I have a couple questions. What do you think about Fat Amy? You think she's just funny?
I think she's just funny. I thought you would be like, why are they calling her Fat Amy and all that? But I think nowadays that would still be happening because people are more like, society in general is more like comfortable with their body. Like there's a lot more like models and stuff. So they'd be like, embrace your overweightness or whatever.
Sure.
So I doubt that it would be like, don't call her Fat Amy because that's wrong. Because being fat isn't necessarily wrong.
Well, if they asked her, why do you call yourself fat? And she said, so that way twig bees like you don't say it behind my back. So kind of a joke. Later on, she'll actually admit that her name isn't Fat Amy. Her name is Fat Patricia.
Patricia.
That was kind of funny. Like she's been lying about her name.
In the other movies, do they call her Fat Patricia?
No, I don't think so. I think they call her Fat Amy ever since. Now here's the other thing, and this was a big moment. Cynthia Rose's character, African American lady. She happened to be a lesbian. Fat Amy made a comment earlier on that in a group of 10 ladies, most likely one of us is going to be lesbian. In kind of a negative connotation, they made jokes, maybe like several jokes throughout the movies about Cynthia Rose being gay. And then eventually when she does come out to the group, she doesn't really come out. She just she mentions she has an ex-girlfriend. Fat Amy's like kind of celebrates the fact that she was right the whole time.
Also, I think that was kind of cool of the character, because I feel like a lot of people are like, being gay is so like different. It's such like a big thing, where she just kind of said it openly, like, it doesn't really matter all that much. That's just who I am. It's not anything different or strange. I feel like that was like pretty good, but they also did like portray, whatever that word is.
Now you got me almost at portray.
Portray Cynthia Rose in like a very stereotypical way, where she was also overly like sexualized. She tried to give her CPR even though she wasn't and passed out. She also, in the scene I was talking about earlier, like why she like wants to kiss her even though it's like, it's just very stereotypical. Also in the scene where they were brawling, she did the like, I'll protect you, and she was like grabbing her butt and her boobs and all that. Like she's just over, it's like a stereotype that like lesbians are over sexualized, so that was very stereotypical of the movie to over sexualize her in that way.
Yeah, and it was all for the joke of she's lesbian, but she's not admitting it, and Fat Amy's trying to root out the fact that she's lesbian. But Cynthia Rose's ex-girlfriend was one of the members of the Bellas as well, so there were two lesbians in the group. We barely see that character. She's named, but she doesn't really have any lines. She's not very prominent. So, all right, I think that's it. Do you have anything else to share about this movie?
I don't think so. Oh, I liked Lily a lot. I thought she was funny.
Lily, the really, really, really quiet Asian girl.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe a bit of a stereotype as well, of just being so quiet. So much so that nobody can actually hear her voice. And she made the team, right?
Yeah, except for, I think it was Donald. That's the name of the, rapper dude from them. He was, the only one who heard her. And she was like, I ate my twin in the womb. And he's like, that's adorable.
I remember that scene, yeah, when Donald said that they were in the bus together on the way to not the finals, the semifinals, I think it was. Yeah, but she eventually gets her voice at the end of the movie. That's kind of like a little subplot, which is cool. I like the movie. Pitch Perfect 2 and 3 are not as good. Mom and I went to watch Pitch Perfect 2 at the movie theaters, and we watched the first and the second one. They had a double screen showing, and we loved the first one so much, and then the second one was kind of...
Did you watch 3?
We did watch 3 as well. But a bit of a disappointment. But there was a riff off in number 2 that I really liked as well, so maybe I'll figure out where we can watch that riff off, and because I thought it was really funny. Thank you for tuning in to Papi Approved Movies.
If you like this episode, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcast app.
We usually put out an episode every week.
Next week, we're going to be watching The Fifth Element. I don't know what that's about, but I'm excited because it sounds cool.
All right. I'm Papi.
And I'm Natalie.
See you next time.
Bye.